Hey there, my name is Mark Whyte, and welcome to my channel. Look, I know this channel isn't really about me, it's about how you can be helped in your endeavor of earning money online and perhaps building a better life in the process. There's a lot of reasons to want to do that. Perhaps you just want to make money or a little extra money, or you want to do a side hustle on the side, or maybe you want to start a whole new career and you can do that online. And sometimes those reasons become motivations that push you, and that's not a bad thing either. But whatever your reason, I am glad you're here. Now, the question is this: why why should you care about this channel? And technically, you don't even really have to. But I do want to give you some reasons to know me a little bit more because when I think when most people pick up a book in a bookstore, can you there are these buildings that you can go to and buy a book. And if you're looking for a certain subject, whether it's gardening or making money online, you're going to flip that book around and see who this person is. Now, you can't tell a whole lot, and they do write a bio on there, and that bio is often kind of useful, but you don't know a lot. You don't know whether they have degrees or don't have degrees, although sometimes they point that out. And often it's really not even about degrees. It's about skill. Do they have the skill to help someone else get down the road? So, let me tell you a little bit about my background, kind of my story. It's going to probably be a little bit less concise than I'd like it to be, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about me just as a way to say, hey, this is who I am. I'm Mark Whyte, and I want to help you if I can. I want to create videos and so forth for you to be to point you in directions that will be useful. And the funny thing is that I hate being on screen. I hate being on video. I love teaching, and I'm going to get to that just here in a moment. So why should you care? Well, you don't have to, but I hope that after you listen to what I have to say here, that maybe you'll be curious enough to want to care. Okay. Now, who am I? What am I? And why care? Well, I've kind of touched on the beginning of that, but let me tell you just a little bit more. I go by the moniker Prof Mark, as in professor. And the reason for that is that I am a professor and have been for a number of years online teaching at a very large Christian university, and I teach theology. Yes, I am a follower of Christ, and though I do love talking about that particular subject, that's a discussion for another time. But what I want to do for a few minutes is to tell you a little bit about me, and then in a video upcoming, I want to tell you a little bit more about the value of something called affiliate marketing. It's possible that you're watching this and you're a pro already. It's also very likely that you're a newbie or someone who wants to learn and become good at what they do, at doing that task, and but you don't yet have a lot of experience. But either way, welcome. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the things that formed me in the early days. I'll try to make this brief and concise, but that's a hard one for me. But I will try. I will work at it. I was born in Wichita, Kansas, which is the city side of where all the farms are. It's not farm, but I consider Texas my home, even though, believe it or not, I live in California. So perhaps I'm just a little schizophrenic in that regard. But there are a lot of hard life stories, and I want to tell you a little bit about mine. Perhaps you've had even harder life than I have, but those things form us, and they're really good. They've really basically helped me to grow up, um, be a better man, be a better father, better husband, a better everything. And so let me just tell you a little bit about my background. My dad was an alcoholic. He was a good guy in so many ways, and yet when he drank, he was really a mess and created all kinds of chaos in my growing up for my brother and myself. During my early years in high school, I played football and I wrestled, and wrestling was really my love. And I earned a scholarship to a community college, or what we called back then a junior college. And I had the intention of finishing up there, catching the eye of a coach at a larger university like a Oklahoma State or an Iowa or someplace like that. I did know that I wanted out of Kansas. There's really nothing wrong with Kansas. Very nice people, but there was something about me from the very beginning of my life that I just couldn't wait to leave. So after college, I went to, community college and so forth. But then when I was about 20 years old, I went to this wrestling tournament in Missouri. And before that match, I didn't get a chance beforehand to warm up properly. And when my opponent came out, he took me down and he turned me over toward my back. And if you know anything about wrestling, you know that you're not supposed to bridge, or you do have to bridge up onto your neck to keep from being pinned. And when I did that, my neck snapped. The match stopped immediately. They called an ambulance, and the nearest hospital was about 90 miles away in Kansas City. And so they rushed me up there, and over a period of time and evaluation and so forth, they determined that I'd broken my neck at cervical 6 and 7. And later they found out that it wasn't a complete break; it was a partial break, or an incomplete break, which made me an incomplete quadriplegic. Now, you may have seen quadriplegics around. They typically have little or no use of their arms, their shoulders, their hands, and so forth. And that wasn't who I was. A paraplegic is someone who's broken their back kind of lower, on the lower side, in various places in the back. And if it's very low, then they have no use of their legs, but they can use their upper body, arms, hands just fine. And I've got a mixture of both. I've got all four limbs are affected. Now, as I've gotten older, my hands are really getting kind of gnarled up, and I can't pick up things the way I can't hold things the way I used to. And so it's a bit of a problem, but that's what they determined back then, is that it was an incomplete break. And so they they took care of me the best they could. They started building, they started doing the surgery, they started doing all that kind of stuff. Now, um, 33 years later, well, that pushed me to crutches. And then I was on crutches for 33 years. And at that time, I was I had finished college. I joined a Christian organization. I worked on college campuses. I went over to, eventually, I went to Africa and taught a class. Uh, and then we moved to Yugoslavia after I got married and so forth, went to a grad school, and a lot of things happened. So none of it was easy. All of it was hard. And in some ways, it just kind of keeps getting hard. So let's talk a little bit now about, kind of the more necessary forming. Really, if you think about it, all of us have more necessary forming to do in whoever it is that we are, what our skills are, what our job is. Are we, confident? Are we scared to death of our own shadow, if you will? And so those are all kind of important things to have. Some, information and ability. And what they end up doing is that they build you emotionally, spiritually, physically. And what really has helped me to put a smile on my face every day are four particular things. It's my faith in Christ, my amazing and wonderful wife and three adult kids. It's the graduate education that I earned and developed deep understanding of what I needed to understand worldview wise and so forth. And the two or three particularly close friends that I have, that I know that love me and support me and laugh with me. And trust me, I do a lot of laughing. So that's a that's a little bit about me. It's not everything, but it's a decent start. Um, I don't know the purpose of this channel is really kind of what want to ultimately get at, and that is I want to be able to inspire you where I can, encourage you all the time, tell you the truth about life and about making money. And whenever I can, I want to point you in the direction of ways and places and programs and so forth that can help you better financially, and in some cases even in health type products and so forth. So that at least this side of eternity, you can live a better life. And look, I think this is a good start. Trust is always a tough a tough thing to develop. It takes time, but hang in there with me, and I will work in gaining your trust. Also, let me tell you this: I'm a passionate person, but I'm not an excitable one. So if you're looking to come to my channel and I'm going to do backflips, I can't do backflips, and do all kinds of crazy fun things, you probably won't find that. You're going to find someone who's going to tell you the truth, as I mentioned, be as straight as I can, be as helpful and encouraging as I can. And I think that's an awfully good start uh, to a new relationship like this, if you will. So there's a photo of my family, a somewhat recent family photo, and love those guys. And it's an important part of my life. And just want to say howdy, welcome to the channel, and we'll be talking real soon.